Vandeham Shri Guru Shivatapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्ता वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नीति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। All right, welcome devotees. I also wish you a very happy Gaura Purnima. So today we are discussing from Srimad Bhagavatam, verse Canto 3, chapter 25, verse number 16. Let me share my screen. So we will read the verse, synonyms, translation, and purport, and then we will briefly discuss the verse and the purport. Today being Gaura Purnima, we'll also try to connect this with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's cleansing of the Gundicha temple. All right, so I'll read the verse. Aham mamabhimanotthaiha kamalo bhadibhirmalaiha vitam yada manah shuddham adukham asukham samam. Synonyms or the word-to-word meanings. Aham, I. Mama, mine. Abhiman, from the misconception. Utthaiha, produced. Kama, lust. Lobha, greed. Adi bhi, and so on. Malay, from the impurities. Vitam, freed. Yada, when. Mana, the mind. Shuddham, pure. Adukham, without distress. Asukham, without happiness. Samam, equipoised. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. When one is completely cleansed of the impurities of lust and greed produced from the false identification of the body as I and bodily possessions as mine, one's mind becomes purified. In that pure state, he transcends the stage of so-called material happiness and distress. Purport. Kama and Lobha are the symptoms of material existence. Everyone always desires to possess something. It is said here that the desire and greed are the products of false identification of oneself with the body. When one becomes free from this contamination, then his mind and consciousness also become freed and attain their original state. Mind, consciousness, and the living entity exist. Whenever we speak of the living entity, this includes the mind and the consciousness. The difference between conditional life and liberated life occurs when we purify the mind and the consciousness. When they are purified, one becomes transcendental to material happiness and distress. In the beginning, Lord Kapila has said that perfect yoga enables one to transcend the platform of material distress and happiness. How this can be done is explained here. One has to purify his mind and consciousness. This can be done by the Bhakti Yoga system. As explained in the Narada Pancharatra, one's mind and senses should be purified. Tat paratvena nirmalam. One's senses must be engaged in devotional service to the Lord. That is the process. The mind must have some engagement. One cannot make the mind vacant. Of course, there are some foolish attempts to try to make the mind vacant or void, but that is not possible. The only process that will purify the mind is to engage it in Krishna. The mind must be engaged. If we engage our mind in Krishna, naturally the consciousness becomes fully purified, and there is no chance of the entrance of material desire and greed. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadadi Swapadantikam. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet? Okay, so we will begin with listening to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada himself has uh, given a talk on this verse. So let me, actually, I need to enable the sound. Okay. Let me know if somebody can let me know if you can hear the sound.
Yes, Prabhu, we can hear.
Okay, thank you.
Beatang jada manasuddham adukham asukham samam. In the previous verse, it has been advised, guneshu saktang bandhaya ratang vapunsi muktaye. The process is the mind has to be cleansed of all dirty things. Mind is a friend, mind is the enemy of everyone. If it is clean, then it is friends. And if it is dirty, just like if you keep yourself unclean, then you contaminate some disease. And if you keep yourself clean, then you don't contaminate. If you take action, remaining. Therefore, according to Vedic civilization, one has to cleanse himself 3 times a day. Trisandha, morning, early in the morning, again at noon, again in the evening. Those are strictly following the Brahminical rules and regulations. Vaishnava also, Vaishnava means he is already Brahmin. He must follow the rules and sattva, sama, dhamma, titikha, arjava, jnanam, vijnanam, astikam. So, cleanliness is next to godliness. So, actually, our material condition life means the mind is covered with dirt, all unclean, dirty things. That is the disease. And when you are in the lower stage of tamagun and rajagun, these dirty things are very much prominent. Therefore, one has to raise himself from the position of tamagun and rajagun to satagun.
Okay, so we see Srila Prabhupada has spoken on this verse, and he's focusing on cleansing and cleaning of the mind. And because this is today's Gaura Purnima, We will also look what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said about this. I will share my screen also once again. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu enacted this pastime of cleaning of the Gundicha temple to give us the instruction about cleaning ourselves. So he engaged the devotees in cleaning the temple. One second. Yeah. He engaged the devotees in cleaning the temple. So the devotees that came, they took part in cleaning, and there were two cleanings that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did. The first cleaning, he cleaned all the exterior of the temple, the Gundicha temple, and everything was very shiny and beautiful. And then when everything was clean, he asked the devotees, "Let us clean it once again." The devotees could not see anything dirty there, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was able to see a lot of dirt, and he engaged the devotees in cleaning the temple a second time. And the second time, it is said that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu he cleaned the most dirt, the dirt that were not easily visible. He took out those dirts, and he engaged, and he took out the dirt, and he took the dirt outside the temple, and he threw it far away from the temple so that it will not easily come back. So what it signifies is that the first cleaning of the temple is an external cleanliness, cleaning of our body and subtle of the mind, and the internal cleanliness is even more subtle cleaning, where we ourselves cannot see, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is able to see the dirt, and he himself cleans. So, what this signifies is that we have to clean our hearts for Krishna to come and reside in our hearts. Because once the Gundicha temple is cleaned, then their lordships, Lord Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra, they come and then they reside in the Gundicha temple for a week before they go back to the Jagannath temple. And when the Gundicha temple is clean, they feel very happy. They come and reside in the temple. So similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants our hearts to be cleaned. He wants us to be clean. So what he instructed is that there are two types of cleaning. The first cleaning is the external cleaning, and the second cleaning is the internal cleaning, as demonstrated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. And we will very quickly look at the external cleanings and the internal cleanings. The cleaning of the first cleaning is the cleanliness of the body and the surrounding. This includes personal hygiene, like brushing the teeth, taking a bath, and while taking a bath, and external cleanliness cleans our body from dirt and sweat and all. There is an internal cleanliness also we can do while taking the bath. We can chant the mantra, think of Krishna. That cleanses us internally also. Clean surroundings where we sit, our house, our home, our desk where we sit every day. So cleaning. So basically, avoid clutter in our surroundings. Next is simple and clean clothes. We should always wear simple, clean clothes according to our situation, where we are, in what type of work we are doing, where we are. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a sannyasi; he would wear saffron clothes. But depending on where we are, we should wear simple but clean clothes. And diet, keep a simple and clean diet helps us stay focused on the important things in life, including our spiritual life. And mostly, clean diet means diet in the mode of goodness and prasadam. So these are some of the pictures, or what we talked about in pictorial. Now there are some dirt in the mind also. There are the 6 enemies of the mind that are mentioned: kama, krodh, lobha, moha, mada, and matsarya, or lust, anger, greed, illusion, madness, and envy. In this verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, um, Kapila Dev is talking about kama and lobha, lust and greed. And then going on to the next cleanliness or the internal cleanliness, they are the subtle desires and they are nishiddha achar or accepting things forbidden in the Shastra, kutinati or fault finding or diplomatic behavior, jiva himsa or envy of other living entities, labha or profit according to material calculations, pratishtha or name, fame, and position, and puja or hankering for popularity. So instead, we don't have time to discuss all of this in details, but what I will do is I will read a purport by Srila Prabhupada from Chaitanya Charitamrita talking about these things. This is in Madhya Leela, chapter 12, verse number 35. And Srila Prabhupada has talked about these internal cleanliness. And I will read this purport, partially read the purport. By his practical example, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has shown us that all the grains of sand must be picked up thoroughly and thrown outside. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also cleansed the outside of the temple, fearing that the grains of sand would again come within. In this connection, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur explains that even though one may become free from the desire for fruitive activity, sometimes the subtle desire for fruitive activity again comes into being within the heart. One often thinks of conducting business to improve devotional activity, but the contamination is so strong that it may later develop into misunderstanding, described as kutinati or fault finding, and pratishtha asha, or the desire for name and fame and for high position. Jiva himsa, envy for other living entities, nishiddha achar, or accepting things forbidden in the Shastra, kama, desire for material gain, and puja, hankering for popularity. The word kutinati means duplicity. As an example of pratishtha asha, one may attempt to imitate Srila Haridas Thakur by living in a solitary place. One's real desire may be for name and fame. In other words, one thinks that fools will accept one to be as good as Haridas Thakur just because one lives in a solitary place. These are all material desires. A neophyte devotee is certain to be attacked by other material desires as well, namely desires for women and money. In this way, the heart is again filled with dirty things and become harder and harder, like that of a materialist. Gradually, one desires to become a reputed devotee or an avatar incarnation. The word jiva himsa or envy of other living entities actually means stopping the preaching of Krishna consciousness. Preaching work is described as sorry, paropakar, paropakar, or welfare activity for others. Those who are ignorant of the benefits of devotional service must be educated by preaching. If one stops preaching and simply sits down in a solitary place, he is engaging in material activity. If one desires to make a compromise with the Mayavadis, he is also engaged in material activity. A devotee should never make compromises with non devotees. By acting as a professional guru, mystic yogi, or miracle man, one may cheat and bluff the general public and gain fame as a wonderful mystic, but all this is considered to be dust, straw, and grains of sand within the heart. In addition, one should follow the regulatory principles and not desire illicit sex, gambling, intoxicants, or meat. To give us practical instructions, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cleansed the temple twice. His second cleansing was more thorough. The idea was to throw away all the stumbling blocks on the path of devotional service. He cleansed the temple with firm conviction, as is evident from his using his own personal garments for cleaning. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to see personally that the temple was thoroughly cleansed to the standard of clean marble. Okay, we will skip and go to the end of the purport. Thus, the cleansing of Gundicha Mandira was conducted by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to let us know how the heart should be cleansed and soothed to receive Lord Sri Krishna and enable him to sit within the heart without disturbance. Okay, so this is the internal cleanliness. We talked about two types of cleanliness. In summary, uh, we understood the two types of cleanliness, the external and the internal. And one has to raise themselves to the sattva gun, like Srila Prabhupada mentions in the lecture to this verse, because in the mode of ignorance and passion, these dirtiness is they are more visible, they are more prominent, and by raising ourselves to the sattva gun, these dirtiness or these dirts can be reduced or attempt to be cleansed. And by cleaning our hearts, we should invite we enable ourselves, or we enable our heart to invite the Lords and to reside in our hearts. So that is the goal of the cleanliness. This is also mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam in the 5th verse, 5.5.8, where Rishabh Dev is talking about aham mameti. The attraction between male and female is the basic principle of material existence. On the basis of this misconception, which ties together the hearts of the male and female, one becomes attracted to his body, home, property, children, relatives, and wealth. In this way, one increases life's illusions and thinks in terms of I and mine. Okay, so that concludes the discussion of today's verse, which is 3.25.16, where Kapila Dev is talking to his mother, Devahuti. And he says that when one is completely cleansed of the impurities of lust and greed produced from the false identification of the body as I and the bodily possessions as mine, one's mind becomes purified. In that pure state, he transcends the stage of so-called material happiness and distress. So it really focuses on I and mine. And he also mentions two out of the few that we discussed, kama and lobha. And Prabhupada says that kama and lobha are the symptoms of material existence. Everyone always desires to possess something. It is said here that desire and greed are the products of false identification of oneself within the body. So to clean this is the purpose, and by cleaning ourselves, externally is important, but more important is internal cleansing. We can invite the lordships in our heart. So I will stop here and see if there are any discussions or questions. Otherwise, we can stop. Okay, so we will stop here then. Lakshmikant Prabhu, we can stop here.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaः. Again, wish you all a very happy Gaura Purnima.